If you caught my video last week, then you know I recently spent a lot of time upgrading the automationschool.com, and one of the features I updated was the review system, and I want to share one of those reviews with you today. But let's just go to the screen here, and you can see the review system. You'll see it when you go to the main course page. You'll see it under student reviews. This system is much easier to use than the previous two systems we had. And what I did is I spent a lot of time in Excel taking those reviews over the last 12 years from those other two systems and importing them into this new system. And so today, and you can go right to the automationschool.com and see any of these, but today I wanted to share with you one in particular. And this one comes in from Joshua, and here's his review. The instructor has a vast knowledge of the ControlLogix system and provides excellent use of visual aids and stories from the field, combined with a review of technical documents and the equipment in question. As a professional, I value this type of education and training that helps you do a better job in your career while educating you on the various aspects of the platform in question and the product's history. Well done, Shawn. Well, Joshua, thank you for your review. You can now see it in the new edition of the automationschool.com as well. And I wanted to talk to you, if you've not taken any of my courses, I wanted to share some of the advantages you get at the automationschool.com, because I know there's a lot of passionate people out there creating courses, and kudos to all of them. But one of the things that I pride myself on, and this has been since day one, going all the way back to 2013 and 2014, is that it's a buy once, no expiration course, right? So the pricing has always been, up to this point, you buy it once, you own it forever. And the other thing is that this is my full-time job. As you can see, I also do in-person training. And as you guys know, I do interviews with vendors, and I'm always testing out new products. We just had a major video with a vendor that, I think it was like a 40-minute video that they sponsored, that I dug into their Ethernet switches. And so this is my life, this is my job, this is what I do full-time. It's not some kind of part-time thing. And because of that, I'm on the site every day answering questions. Now, some people ask some questions that, I just can't answer. They're outside the scope of the course. But when it's in the scope of the course, I'll try to answer it. And sometimes I'll even add a new lesson just to address that exact question if I think it's something that everybody else is going to have questions on. Now, that said, I do update lessons, and I add new lessons over time. And I will be seeing a lot of that this year. Last year in December, I updated all the videos talking about starter packs, how much the software costs. Can you get the software for free? I even did that for the Allen Bradley and the Siemens courses. So you can actually go in. I made those lessons, I think the 20 or 30-minute lessons, I made them free previews. So you can go up to the automationschool.com and you can actually see those lessons and view them right now if you want to get up to speed on what are your options for doing hands-on. Occasionally I get somebody say, hey, does your $200 course include the $10,000 software package? The answer is no. That doesn't cover hardware or software. So, but again, I cover all of that in that lesson there. That's a free preview. I also offer upgrades and bundles. So I've had a lot of people, they start out with the CompactLogix course and then like, you know what? I wish I would have bought the Compact and ControlLogix bundle. And so it's just an upgrade. The difference in price, you just send a request to me. I give you a coupon. I've even had some people start out with a course and want to go all the way up to the Mega or Ultimate bundles. And it's just the difference in price between what you spend and what you buy. And if you'd like to come out to do some in-person training with me here in my learning center, then you can take the price of your course up to $200 off the $499 price to come in here for a day of training. So, and why would I do that? Because I want my students to know that their courses have value. They're going to be supported. They can come back and rewatch them if they want to. They can ask questions at any time. They can, they'll get new lessons over time. And that if they want to come in and do hands-on with what they've already learned online, their investment will be protected. And so I'm going to give them that discount up to $200 off of an in-person class, which is typically $499 per student. Now that said, I do have more information about those in-person classes over at theautomationschool.com/live. But in any case, I did want to also point out that if you come to an in-person course but you're not enrolled in the online course, I'm going to give you that online course, the one that matches the course. So if you come in for one day to get the level 1 ControlLogix, I'm going to give you the level 1 ControlLogix online course so that you don't have to worry while you're here and try to binge everything you can. You'll have that course, and you'll be able to ask questions maybe you didn't think of while you were here that one day. And so that's one way I value my students. Again, this is my full-time job. This is all I do. So I want to take care of each and every one of you out there. And I'm also available for one-on-one consulting and training and mentoring. I've been doing that quite a bit with several students of mine who learned everything in the course, but then they run into strange things in the field and like, hey, can we sit down and look at the code together? And so I'm also available for that. Based on my schedule, you can just schedule a one-on-one with me, and we can go over your project or go over your parts and pieces or your code and see if we can't figure out what's going on. But with that, I just want, again, just come in front of you, let you know about that new review system. If you are a student in any of my courses and you haven't left a review, or maybe it's been a long time since you left a review, please come up and check that system out. And if you haven't left a review yet, please get in there and leave a review. Let me know what you thought about the course. And as always, I always ask at the last lesson of each course that if there's things you want to see me add to the course, please let me know. I'm constantly looking for deals on hardware and constantly working with vendors to try to get hardware so that we can bring you more education and just keep adding value to that course you bought. Maybe you bought it last week, or maybe you bought it 12 years ago. In any case, with that, that's it for this update and course review. I want to wish you all good health and happiness. And until next time, my friends, peace.